Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru,
गुरु साहिब जियो हम अवगुण परे एक गुण नाही अमृत छाड़ बिखे बिख खाही माया मोह परम पै पूले सुतदारा स्यो प्रीत लगाई एक उत्तम पंथ सुनियो गुर संगत त्रह मिलंत जम त्रास मिटाई एक अरदास पाठ कीरत की गुरु रामदास राखो सरनाई गुरु रामदास राखो सरनाई सतगुरु आयो सरन तुहारी मिले सुख नाम हर शोभा चिंता लाहे हमारी अवर न सूजे दूजी ठाहर हार प्रियो तो द्वारी लेखा छोड़ लेखे छूटे हम निर्गुण ले हो उबारी सदबख्शंद सदा मेहरवाना सबना दे आधारी नानक दास संत पाछे परियो राख ले हो एहो बारी राख ले हो एहो बारी। धन धन गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब जी दे हुजूरी च बैठे साध संगत जी गज गज के फतेह बुलाओ जी। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। साध संगत जी अगले हफ्ते तो असी जिहड़ी सवैये हैगे पातशाही 10वीं उन्हां दी कथा शुरू करांगे अंग्रेजी विच। इस हफ्ते जिहड़ा टॉपिक हैगा वो थोड़ा वखरा हैगा। इस अबाउट जिहड़ी फॉरगिवनेस होंदी हैगी है व्हाट इज फॉरगिवनेस बट वी आर गोना रिलेट इट बिकॉज़ इट्स गोना बी इन इंग्लिश वी आर गोना रिलेट इट टू व्हाट हैपेंड दिस वीक बिकॉज़ दिस वीक देयर वाज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग डॉक्यूमेंट्री ऑन द BBC on Monday about what's happening in this world in reality where girls in our community, young girls, not ladies who are 18, 20, 21 at university, but girls, young girls, 13, 15, sometimes even younger, that they are being targeted, groomed, and then not being converted but being used. And many people like Sardar Mohan Singh, Paisa Mohan Singh, who's from the Sikh Awareness Society, he's been spending more than 15 years going around this country raising awareness of this issue. And for many, many years, he was ignored by most people. Ki ye ho nahi raha. Or people didn't want to talk about it. Now, it's being talked about on the BBC across the world. People are watching this and realizing that this is what's happening in our community. So for the people that were talking about this 15 years ago, that have been talking about it for the last 10, 15 years, they were almost happy that the issue is now gone public. But those people that were denying that it was happening, they've had a bit of a shock. Now I've had many phone calls from people this week, many conversations with people this week, saying, what are we going to do about this issue? The thing is that the fire is already burning, innit? ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ 15 ਸਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਬੰਦਾ ਆ ਕੇ ਦੱਸੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਗ ਲੱਗੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਨਾ ਕਰੋ ਤੇ ਗਾਹਾਂ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਘਰ ਸੜ ਗਿਆ, it's almost ruined, then you start thinking I should do something. You've already had 15 years of the fire burning away and no one stopping it. Apart from a few people, some few sevadars, they've been working hard. But also the channel was, the program was very interesting because it raised some issues. One of the issues it raised was, this Muslim youth said that one of the reasons why we target the Sikh girls, of course he's not going to say it's because they're Sikh. But what he said is that the girls, they won't tell their parents. Sharam aa jandi hegi hai. And then they will say that the girls won't tell their parents. And if the parents do find out, ਜੇ ਕਦੇ parents ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਵੀ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਨਾਲ ਇੰਜ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈਗਾ, that the parents won't tell the police. The parents will hide it. So what is the groomer looking for? He's looking for that issue not to come up in the public, for the police to not get involved and not get arrested. He doesn't care if your izzat gets damaged. He doesn't care if your family suffers. That group doesn't care at all about us, because they're not even from our community. All they care about is that they don't get caught. And what is happening is that we are ensuring with our actions that they don't get caught. So we are easy targets. But mainu ek gal samajh nahi aayi. Not samajh, I know, but one thing struck me. That in the past, if the Sikhs got troubled, the Sikhs will sort out their own problems. We never went to no police. I don't remember Guru Gobind Singh Ji calling the police. It wasn't any of the Sakhis that I studied. I didn't hear about any Sakhi Banda Singh Bahadur putting in a call to the Mughal kingdom or find the local, Havaldar and saying, we got to sort this out, come and help us. I don't remember that conversation when I was studying history. That means that the Sikhs never asked anybody else for help. So now, it's a double besti. Not only is our besti being done across the public that we don't talk about these issues, don't involve the police, don't help the girls, but it's our second besti that we're not actually able to deal with this problem ourselves. And that the Sikhs can't even help themselves, and then they can't even get somebody else to help themselves. When you look at something like this, there's a real desire to give yourself a slap. Because who are you going to slap? Sometimes you can go outside and say, we blame, a lot of times we blame everybody else we can find. We want to get into an argument with them. You guys are wrong. You guys are bad. But Bani tells us that before you start pointing the fingers outside, andar chatti maar ke dekh lo. Are you ready to face what you have? I went to one of the camps this summer, and the Singh said ki kade asi apne manje thalle soti fer ke dekhiye ki utte hai ki. We're too scared sometimes. We don't want to find out what's underneath, what's inside. So today's talk, we're going to look at it from the point of view is what have we done about this? We know what's going on out there, but let's look at it as what's our responsibility, because the first responsibility of the Panth is to itself. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Tan Guru Gobind Singh Ji, when they found out their 4 sons were shaheed, they knew about the other 2, and obviously the Antarjami, they know about the other 2, but when they were told by the Shahidiyan or the Chote Sahibzade, Guru Gobind Singh Ji said, Char muye ta kya hua? Jeevat kai hazar. They said, I look for these children of mine, the Khalsa, these thousands. So we sing in Bani, Ek Pita, Ekas ke hum barik, Tu mera gur hai. The Guru is our father. We are all family. Now when something comes to the attention of your family, let's deal with it as a family first. Let's see where the problem is ourselves before we start going outside and calling the police, calling the media. The biggest shame is now that this issue is being brought to our own family by other people telling us it's happening. People are waking up because we don't trust our own people. When the BBC tells us, suddenly we trust them. When it's coming out from Sardar Mohan Singh travelling up and down the country, people say, no, it's not happening. They want to bury their head. The Sikhs are not famous for burying their head. The Sikhs are famous for standing up and doing something about it. We have no support network as well. But also, isn't it a shame, before we start looking at this culture issue, isn't it a shame now that all a person of another faith, in this case it was Muslims, but all a Muslim youth has to do now is put on a kada and put on a bandana on a Nagar Kirtan, and suddenly they look just like another Sikh. Isn't that a shame? That now the whole Sikhi Sarup is gone. Not only is it gone amongst the men, the women don't want it either. That's a deeper cultural issue we have to develop over the long term. There's bigger issues, but just to bring it up at the beginning, it's very easy to look like a Sikh nowadays. Or Kasega, before there was a time where to look like a Sikh meant death. And even then people were keeping their case. Hon sade waste kinna sokha hai. We got 1,000 times more than those people had. They didn't have no washing machines. They didn't have no dishwashers. They didn't have no food from Tesco's. They didn't have no, whatever the TV, Doordarshan, whatever you want to watch. None of that. And still, Kaam sige. Pakke sige Sikhi vich. So maybe we should look at why they were so strong and how come it is that in our community now is so weak. Because it seems like the more we have, the weaker we become. We can look at Punjabi culture as well. Why does it encourage alcohol? What's the problem with our Punjabi culture where our girls, regardless of whether they're being groomed or not, are not really well known for being, strict about who they date or not. And yet, we're the Qawm who keeps talking about Mata Sahib ko as our mother. The finger goes always. Punjabi Munde aren't exactly well known for treating their women nicely. We got a big problem in our community of domestic violence, other issues, but they're not talked about, they're not dealt about. This is our Guru Kar, this is our community center. If we can't talk about these issues here in our family, then where are we going to talk about them? People say, don't talk about these things on the stage. Reality is, this is the reality we're facing. We're not here pretending that it's not happening. We're not sitting here going, la, 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 I can't hear you. And suddenly it comes on BBC News and suddenly we wake up. We should be prepared to talk about it here. I think the biggest problem we have here is a culture of fakeness. Dikhawa. Maharaj says, Guru Gobind Singh Ji in their hukam, 52 bachans from Nanded, one of the hukams is, Dikhawe da Sikh nahi banna. Don't become a Sikh who's just an outward Sikh, who just shows off as a Sikh. Become a real Sikh. Dikhawe da Sikh nahi banna. What's happening now is, everything is Dikhawa. Not just the Sikh, the Gurdwara, everything. Our whole community is just a community of Dikhawa. It's fake culture. Fakery. It's a culture of just fake it and you've made it. It's not about reality. It's not about what is real. We're not keeping it real whatsoever. We're keeping it as fake as we can. Let's tackle a few topics. So you see, we can face them. We're going to look at education. Look at Gurdwara. Look at our own culture now, where we're living in. And look at the support network. In terms of education, are we taking it seriously? Are we really taking Sikhi seriously when it comes to education? We've got to look around our Gurdwara. At this moment in time, there's no course you can sign up in nearly any Gurdwara in this whole country. You can't sign up to a course. Let's say you're about 25 years old, and because you've not been taught anything before, you decide, I want to be a Sikh. What do? Go on Google. Nothing else. There's no courses, there's no education system for adults. It's all for kids. And you're not going to go along to a kids class and then Udha Ada Idi, are you? Or a Gurmat class when they're taught his. You want to learn it from an adult. It doesn't exist. Yet we are third generation here. We know that our previous generation has been neglected. I was watching a video, some guy in the 80s converted to Christianity, who was a Sikh. And he was saying that he didn't know anything. So if in the 80s he didn't know anything, that's 30 years on and we still haven't moved on. We still haven't realized we don't know anything about Sikhi. Our girls, even men, child, whatever, they're taught nothing. Sikhi now consists of the kada on the hand and the khanda. Even in the car or the boxing glove or on our head or Nagar Kirtan. That's it. That's Sikhi nowadays. And a Gurdwara, coming to Gurdwara, the truth is, consists of coming here, sitting and listening to some stuff so you don't understand, then going and having langar. Is that Guru Dwara Hoye Soji Paisi? Maharaj says, if you come to Gurdwara, you should get some understanding about what is the point of life. Yeah, if you said to people now, in a normal Gurdwara, not just this one, any Gurdwara, if you said no one can have langar until they explain what's the point of life. Not 10 gurus' names, how they related. Just tell me what is the point of life. People will look at you and saying, I'll go home and have food then. That's the reality in our community. They don't even know, what's the point of coming to Gurdwara? Then the answer is going to be to have langar. Because Sunday lunchtime. They don't know about life, and they don't know about the Guru of the truth, or what truth he came here to teach. Satguru teaches truth. Pure Gur ka sun upadesh. Upadesh means teachings. Listen to the teachings of the perfect Guru. But kenu pata upadesh ki si? We're not taking it seriously. Our youth are uneducated and confused about Sikhi. And because they're so weak about their Sikhi, they're like, you know, those banners we have outside. If you take them outside, they flop right over. They got no roots. Mool mantra, the mool means roots, jad. Sadi jadi ni kachi hegi hai. We fall over straight away. There's not one single, well, in the last 100 years, we haven't produced one single English-speaking pracharik in this country who's full-time granthi. We haven't got one. We got a few who are trying it, but we ain't no granthis, no vidvans. But the fact is, we've been in this country for 100 years. Shepherd's Bush Gurdwara was set up 100 years ago. So, great-grandfather's time, they should have had people ready who were speaking English. Now what we got? Same thing, people from Punjab coming over here. And who do the youth ask then? If they got a question, who do they ask? Even something simple. I was told this by Flana Flana Banda. Who do they go and ask? So many times I hear conversation with people saying, I went to the Gurdwara, I had a question, I got no answers. Came back home. Over time, when you get no answers to your questions, you stop asking questions. You stop asking. Our Gurdwara, are we actually taking our Gurdwara seriously then? Let's let alone teaching. We know that Pakhand is everywhere. We know in our Gurdwara that the people that run our Gurdwara shouldn't be running our Gurdwara. There's not one youth I've met in all my time who said to me, I love the way the Gurdwara are run in this country. That's some serious stuff. If the whole present generation has no faith in the older generation, that's a big problem. Because I can tell you now, if you were there in 1700s, the Singhs had full faith in Baba Deep Singh. They had full faith in their elders. When their elders said, Chalo, oh chalde sige. Yeah? Even in 84, our leaders were trusted. Sant Jarnail Singh, if he said ki Dharam Yudh Morcha karna hai, tens of thousands of people courted arrested and went to jail because they trusted the leaders. We haven't got actually teachers in charge. If it's a school, teachers run schools. Not admin staff, teachers. Teachers should be running Gurdwara. There's no freedom to speak up. You can try many places, people have stopped, youth have stopped coming to Gurdwara because when they speak up about the issues, they get kicked out or the police get called. Can you believe that now? The elders are using the government police to stop youth from speaking up about Sikhi issues in Gurdwara. All across the country. Everywhere. Not even that. The Sangat has no power now. When I was at university, I'll tell you a funny story. Because I was from here, innit, Southall. And I went to Agora University, I went to Oxford. Now I was a bit surprised. When we were setting up our, in the college, they had like, you know, they have like societies. And they have positions just within the college itself. And one of the positions was for, I don't know, some nth rep or something for entertainment. And I went for it. I didn't realize there was going to be a proper election. Not like what we have now in a Gurdwara. They made people stand up at the front and talk about their policies. And the Sangat was allowed to question them. Ask them questions. Why do you think, what experience have you got? Satsangat ji, we have elections in every Gurdwara in this country, 300 more Gurdwara. Yet not a single one can tell me that they have the committee at the front being questioned about their skills and leadership and why they should be in charge. Means that a little college and a little university has got more brains than 300 Gurdwara in this country. They got a better system and we've been here for 100 years. Sanu ye gal pata bhi nahi hai. Before you can solve a problem, you got to know what the problem is. You go to doctor, I got a pain in my stomach. As far as you're concerned, it's a pain in your stomach. We haven't got a clue what it could be. Doctor dasda na, what's the problem? Then we get medicine. We don't even know our problem. Sanu nahi pata ki jera system hai galat hai. Even according to the rules of the system, firstly, there should be no voting in a Gurdwara anyway. But leaving that aside, even the voting system is corrupt and it's not working. Any little argument happens, police get called. All over the world, every Gurdwara has got legal bills that are huge. They could do more prachar if they wanted to spend those bills on, if they just spend that money on prachar, our panth would be in chardi kala. But instead they spend on lawyers' fees. I heard when I was in Canada, I heard some hilarious stories. Hilarious if you want to cry, because it's a sad state of our panth. But honestly, people going to, some Gurdwara didn't have elections for 8 years because the courts were involved. There's no Panch Pyare. There's no leadership of the Khalsa. There's no such concept ki Panch Pyare should run in Gurdwara. Only one Gurdwara I found so far. Only one. South Shields. I went there and they said we haven't got any committees and we've got no elections. Just got Panch Pyare on the Gurdwara. 30 years, not one argument. Peace. Anand. And they got no Granthis either. The Sangat do all the work. All the Katha, all the Kirtan, all the Granthi Seva is all done by the Sangat. But these examples, they're not brought out in front of us. What it is we just see what's in front of us and we assume that's it. Ehi hega. But aisa cheez hai nahi. This Gurdwara now and every Gurdwara in this country is almost unrecognizable to the Panth of 300 years ago. They would come in here and wonder, what are we doing? Have we gone mad? Have we gone absolutely mad and thought this is Sikhi? Because it's collective madness. They say that madness, definition of madness is doing the same thing again and again and expecting something different. Ehi ho riya sade Gurdwara vich. Sikhi is only growing because of youth camps. And very few of those youth camps are supported by the Gurdwara. Very few. Most of them are run by youth sevadars who are scraping by on their own money. Let's look at our culture. We used to have a culture of forgiveness. Khema. When we part padhe na shuru vich, hum avgun pare, ek gun nahi. That's what the Sikhs used to say to the Guru. Masi avgun pare, hum nirgun leho ubari. That's what we say to our Guru. Sade kol kuch gun hai nahi. Recently there was an argument at a Gurdwara and I said to one of the people who was quite senior there, I said, you know what, you're acting very hankari, Uncle Ji. He took real offense. He got really offended. He goes, well, how dare you call me hankari? I thought to myself, che thode kol hankar nahi tusi Mahapurkh ho gaye fir. That's the truth, innit? Hankar is the worst of the panchor. If you got no hankar, you must be Mahapurkh. If you're not a Mahapurkh, then probably you are Hankari. In that argument, you will be Hankari. We don't want to hear the truth. See, we're not prepared to say, Hum avgun pare. We say in our part, we're not prepared to accept somebody else telling us that we are full of mistakes. We want to be perfect. Bani says, Sabko neve aapko, parko neve na koi. Everybody says, Ki menu matha teko. No one's prepared to matha take somebody else. That's what's happening. We come our Guru, we matha take to him, but even then, we take our head straight back. We don't expect to give him our head. And worse than that, when someone tells us, eh galtiya, we can't listen to it. There's no culture of taking criticism in our community. We can't take any criticism. We think if we get criticized, we're going to collapse. You know when you have like, you have this imaginary wall around you, like a bubble, like a balloon, and you believe that's you, the minute something cracks there, it's going to pop. That's how insecure most people are now in our community. That the minute they take any criticism on, the whole bubble will collapse and they'll just disappear. Maine na criticize karna because they feel so insecure. But a secure person, what would they say? That's true. I have made that mistake. That's all they would say. They would accept their mistake. Hanji. and then move on. Let's do something about it. Because the person is secure as who they are, all the other manifestations of what they do doesn't mean that they themselves can't change those things. Because who they are is a soul. They understand they're a soul. They don't think that this human life is anything. That's how the Sikhs used to be. They used to be very forgiving. Very forgiving. We're not very forgiving at all nowadays. The minute somebody makes a mistake, we jump on them. Then we'll never forgive them. Zindagi par waaste. What's happening with these girls now is they're making these mistakes. Yeah? Mistakes that nearly every single girl makes nowadays. Such a 99% of the girls at this time, when they're about 14, 15, they do chat to boys. They do get attracted. Boys not. But unfortunately, they got tricked. It wasn't a Sikh munda that chatted them up. It wasn't. It was a guy who was going to drug them, then take photos of them and blackmail them. So they're a victim. They were made a mistake. It's the wrong person, wrong time. And what happens? We say, your life is ruined. And that poor girl is scared of ruining her life. If we said to her that we are forgiving, tell us your mistake, she would have come and told her mistake. Yeah? Somebody could have nipped it in the bud there and then. That's it. All it takes is a couple of photos to be destroyed. Can't the Singhs do that much? But then, this girl, now, because she's got no way she can speak to people in our community, because we're not very forgiving. What happens? She goes further and further. Further and further down that line of blackmail. It's blackmail it is. She can't come to us. She can't come to the Gurdwara. She can't come to her parents. Because the culture of no forgiveness is everywhere. It's in our families. It's our families that point their fingers at other families. And they'll tell everybody else about what happened to that girl. Everybody makes mistakes. Only problem is, this girl's was going to become public. Look in our own families. How many people would like the things that happen in our families to become public? If everybody knew about them. I know some friends of mine, they had their lives displayed all over the newspapers. They had to cope with that. But you know what the worst thing was? It wasn't the outside people, it was our community and what they were doing. It's saadi galti hegi hai, no one else's. It's our own fault. We haven't got the culture of forgiveness. Maharaj कहते जिथे khema teh aap. Where there is forgiveness, there is God. In Ardas every evening we say, dekh ke undid kita. Dekh ke. We saw someone's mistake and we still forgave them. Undid kita. Now, if we see someone's mistake, ਅਸੀਂ ਢੰਡੋਰਾ ਪਿੱਟਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਹਾਂ, ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਹਾਂ. We tell everybody, look what mistake this person made. This is the truth about our culture now. Our culture used to be not judging until we know the facts. We used to say, like, even Pai Kanhaiya ji, when he was giving water, what they would do is, the Sikhs would bring him to the Guru, and the Guru would decide whether it's right or wrong. We have a Guru now, Guru Granth Sahib ji, and Guru Khalsa Panth Sahib ji. But when now do we bring someone's mistakes to the attention of the Khalsa and say, what should we do with this person? No. We all decide straight away, we are judge, jury, and then internet executioner. Yeah? Just plug it everywhere, cuss that person, destroy them. ਸਾਡੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹੀ that before we know what's happening, we should just think about it and take a balanced view. So Sangaji, also, we had a culture that was academic and respected learning. Yeah? It respected that somebody spent years and years studying something, and they might make mistakes, but it's alright, we can talk about it. Now, no matter how academic somebody is, how many years they spent learning, every person thinks they can cuss him. No one wants to be an academic nowadays, because all that happens is, they publish one piece, they get thousands of people writing to them, cussing them. So we're criticizing education ourselves. If you look in Islam, there's so many academics. They're so far ahead of us in academia, so far ahead, it's unbelievable. The minute somebody says, I want to be a good Sikh, I want to learn, a Muslim, I want to learn something, they get them a scholarship, send them out to Egypt, send them out to one of the top universities, becomes an academic, becomes a PhD. Then they respect that person's education. What we have now is every single person, no matter how much they know, is ready to cuss everybody else on public. The problem is Facebook and stuff, isn't it? Yeah. Once one thing gets out, it's Chinese whispers multiplied by 1,000 or 1,000,000. Everybody's a scholar. No one studied anything. More importantly, our Gurdwara and our learning used to be about Vichar karna. It was interesting. Bhai Sahib from India came here recently. I've forgotten his name now, I'll probably remember it. Sarabjit Singh, I think. He was walking around, you all saw him, with the mic in the Sangat asking questions. It was revolutionary. People at home falling off their chairs thinking, what is going on in the Gurdwara? This guy's walking around with a mic talking to the Sangat, asking their views. That used to be the way things actually happened, actually. People used to raise their views. Sangat wasn't just sitting in assembly all day long. We used to have Q&A. People don't want to do Q&A nowadays. It's too dangerous, too dodgy. Don't know what people might ask. You know what it is? We even asked this Gurdwara to give us time for Q&A, and they said no. We said, give us half an hour, we can do a Q&A after the katha. No, not interested. If somebody comes from India or from America, they'll get that time. Because many times we're not prepared to grow somebody here, locally. Because when we grow somebody locally, he can become a thorn in our backside. Kanda in our pair. But somebody from outside, they're going to come and they're going to go. Who cares? So there's no Q&As in the Gurdwara. And not only that, if you have a question, you don't know where to go. So unfortunately, people start sending us questions on Ask FM. Simple questions that could have been answered by anybody. But they don't know who to ask in their local community. Because there's no Vichar classes. If you have Vichar class, and everybody can turn up, over time, the clever people, not when I say clever, the intelligent people, the Siane people, they will come to the top. Because they'll speak up and they'll speak sensibly. If you imagine any Vichar class, after 1 year of going to Vichar class, you're going to know who knows his stuff and who doesn't. And the Sangat will then ask that person, Ki tusi dasso. And straight away, you've got someone you can talk to. And that's how the Gurdwara used to be. They used to have Vichar, and there would be people that would normally rise to the top because they knew what they were talking about. And they would quote Bani, and people would trust them. And then they would have someone to talk to. And that was called Sangati Roop. You could get your Guru. Because Guru is in the Sikhs. The Guru is in the Sangat. Guru Pyare Saad Sangat Ji. Yeah? Saad Sangat is the Guru. In fact, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, they were approached by the Guru, by the Sangat, and they said, Maharaj, don't marry off Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji to that guy's daughter. And Guru Sahib accepted the hukum of the Sangat. Can they say Sangat is 21 and Guru is 20? Because when I said 20, in India they used to count 100% was 20 out of 20. Sangat was 21, Guru was 20. That's the respect that Maharaj gave to the Sangat. Now let's look at our Gurdwara. A little bit more in our, carry on with our culture. Cultural education. Our culture used to be about learning. Gurbani. Learning Gurbani. Guru is our Shabad. Shabad is our Guru. That's what used to happen. People used to come to Gurdwara, and when they matha tekte, they knew that the Shabad was their Guru. Nowadays, I'm sorry to say, a lot of people come into Gurdwara, matha taking, don't know the Shabad is their Guru. They think the guy sitting there is their Guru. Or that something is there, but they don't know what. They never seen Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Never heard the Shabad themselves. They don't understand the value of the Shabad. Kabir Ji says even back then, Lok jane e geet hai, e to Brahma bichar. This is ultimate contemplation on God. And now, you'll be surprised how many people we ask, do you know what Ik Onkar means? It's a simple question, isn't it? And everybody fails the test. 90% of people failed the test. We did it outside Nagar Kirtan as well. So Sangat Ji, we don't even know the first letter, the first word of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Gurbani has ceased to become our Guru now. It's just an idol worship we're doing, most of us. We're not learning Shabad. Maharaj says, Sikho Shabad Pyareo. Janam Maran ki take. Learn the Shabad. This is the support of life and death. It's that important. Is your life and death important? Maharaj said life and death important. Asi Sikh nahi rahe. Raag Kirtan. Sikhs used to be famous for being busy learning stuff like Gurbani, like Kirtan. Rag Kirtan is an amazing style. People that become Ragis, their mind is thinking about music all the time. They're not thinking about what to go out and stuff. They're saying that they want to practice. They want to become an expert in that rag or in that tal. That culture of music has gone out of our Gurdwara as well. Gore, sending their kids to top schools like Eton, they say, learn music, do sports. This is what a Gurdwara would be telling people. Learn music, do sports on top of education. A rounded individual. Now we're just all about go to school and study. There's no sports, yeah, and there's no musical education. Gurdwara used to be about lowering your hankar. Sikh culture was about lowering our hankar. Now it's a culture of trying to impress everybody. Isn't it? If your neighbors get a brand new Mercedes Benz, then the dil jaldaya. Not only that, when somebody turns up to our house and they see our gaddi and the gaddi next door, wo bhi dekhde hain bechara. It's not just the people themselves, it's everybody. We're all about impressing. Gurdwara jana, it's about suits. Gaddi khreedni, it's about impressing. It's not about going from A to B. In Kenya, they call the Sikhs Mabenzis, because they all have Mercedes Benz. That's the nickname for the Kenyan Sikhs amongst the Kenyans, Mabenzis. Don't think it's just South though, it's all across in Canada as well. Everywhere, it's all about the gaddiyan. Basically, you become a little, ghetto boys. It's just like, rap culture. They drive around their big gaddi cruising. That's what's happening in our community. Only his Uncle G with his Mercedes Benz, isn't it? It's real sad to see, man. Our culture was not about hankar, was not about impressing anybody, but our Guru. Maharaj is saying, Jo to prem khalan ka chao, sir tal tali, gali meri aao. Itmarg pair tarije, sir dije, kaan na kije. We didn't care what people thought. Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj would tie the turbans that Guru Angad Dev Ji gave to them. When they were Amru, Nithawa, every year, because of their seva, Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj would give a sropa to Guru Amar Das Ji. And they would say, Nimanea ke man. Next year, Netanea ke tan. Ne otea ke ot. These are the words that were given to Guru Amar Das that we say every day in Ardas. That's our Guru. And Maharaj would wear all the parne on his head. 20 odd parne they might have had on their head. They just put them all on. They go, Main ek bhi nahi chadna. Now, if somebody's even lad looks a bit out of place, we start telling them, Saj kya? We've forgotten that it's not about the external, it's about the internal. Anand Sahib pad rahe sige na, roj pad dehegi loki svere, Anand Sahib, pura Anand Sahib. What comes up in that? Maharaj says, Jio male, baro nirmal. Straight up Maharaj says, inside you're not nirmal, but outside you're nirmal. Maharaj says, you lose this life. Jio male, baro nirmal, jiota male, tini janam, juwe haria. You threw it away, gambled it away. Our culture is all about dikhawa. Asal dikhawa se bani gaya si already. Our culture was about seva, was about contentment, being happy with what we've got. Now, it's about competing with the Joneses. Always competing. Santokh nahi, bina santokh nahi ko raje. Asi raje hoye nahi hege. Pukhe hege, hamesha pukhe hege. Always want more and more and more. Got a house, got all this stuff, can't hack it, want to get a bigger house. And also, Satsangji, our culture was about looking to Guruji and ignoring what other people say. And nowadays, we hardly ever come to Gurdwara and take hukumname. We hardly ever come here and say, Guru tusi daso, main ki karan. We got a problem, we think of the solution ourselves. We never think, let me ask my Guru for the solution. What does my Guru say? We tell our youth nowadays, because they don't even know that hukumname exists, let alone what to do about it. We tell them, if you got a problem, come to your Guru, ask Guru Maharaj. Guru de kol aao. Sikhi is about Guru. Guru defines Sikhi, and Guru sustains the Sikhs. Guru is all about, is everything for us. Guru, Gur, Karaman Mor. Guru bina main nahi hor. Everything was about a Guru. Everything was about teaching Sikhi and doing what Sikhi said. Guru Ramdas Ji Maharaj is saying, Janma Nanak Tood Mange Tis Gur Sikhi Jo Aap Jape Avra Naam Japave. That's what they finish out the Shabad. The first Rahatnama in Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji is that. Gur Satgur Ka Jo Sikh Khave. So what is a Sikh to do? Maharaj finishes off by saying, Aap Japo Avra Naam Japavo. Our culture is not about teaching Naam. It's not about Sadhu Sang Sikhayo Naam. Now it's come to Gurdwara, look flash, have langar and go home. Community support. I'm going to finish off with this part because this is important. We're going to go into a Shabad after this. Community support. Are we taking our community support seriously? Or again, are we just paying lip service? Youth used to have Sangat before. They had their local Sikh kids that they knew in their Sangat. And some of those kids will become more Gursikhs, some of them become more LT. Always been the case. But at least they would know they had mates who were into Sikhi they could ask questions from. Now, you got kids growing up with not a single Gursikh mate. Because they never grew up in Sangat. They never had Sangat. People like me, 21, never met a Sikh who was practicing. When I was 21, I came to Nagar Kirtan here, and there was a Sikh, and he didn't look at the girl that was walking past. All of us did. Yeah? And he didn't. And I go to Dekhi. He goes, no. I said, do Kevin Dekhi? And he goes, because I don't look anymore. And I asked, I don't understand. He goes, I haven't been looking for so long, I stopped looking. And I go, man, I never met people like you before. Where you come from? We haven't got Sangat of people that are following Sikhi nowadays, because we're not building it up from a young age. There should be in every Gurdwara a kids program. Adults come here, kids go next door. Do you know what? Even the Hindus have got it. If you go to the center up there in Neasden, the big temple, you know what they got? They got adults divan upstairs, and they got kids split off into different groups. They don't even go into the mandir upstairs. They take them downstairs, and they have 2 hours for the 8 to 10-year-olds, then the 10 to 15-year-olds. They split them up in different age groups, and they teach them every Sunday. For them, when they go to mandir, they learn. They take it seriously. We don't take it seriously. We don't have a support network for our kids. They're not going to come and ask the Granthi at the Gurdwara. They don't even speak the same language. They might ask someone like myself who they see on the stage. They might ask somebody else. Mostly they don't ask anybody. They keep to themselves. They're so embarrassed about how little they know. Whose fault is that? No one talks about the things that are important. Violence, drugs, alcohol. I met people in Canada. They said to me that we're not allowed to talk about these issues from the stage. If we talk against alcohol, they won't bring us back here. Because Sangat sari pindi hai. And they don't want to be told that you shouldn't drink. So now the Sangat, who's not following Sikhi, are telling the people who are following Sikhi what they should tell them from the stage of the Gurdwara. You imagine where we're going now with this. Here we are now, 2013, 2013. 2013 te, can we say in the next 13 years we're going to be in a better place across the whole Panth? If we just left it, just watch it happen. If no one did nothing, what would happen then? Go worse and worse and worse. When we're going to draw the line and say no more, we're going to change things. We've got to ask ourselves, when do we draw the line and say, no, not enough, enough's enough now. Let's get out there and let's change this Panth back towards Guru Sahib. Apan hatti apna. Ape hi kaaj sawari hai. Do you think it's not within our grasp to do this? Have we not got the brains to do this? Mare sanu inne vadde PhD, change graduates bheje hage in our Panth. Have we not got the brains to figure out what the problems are and solve them? Of course we have. Of course we have. Maharaj ne bahut kirpa kiti hui hai. We just don't want to actualize it. Paise hage. We don't want to put them in the right place. We need youth prachariks and we need pastoral care in the Gurdwara. The concept that the Gurdwara is responsible to the Sangat. And the Sangat needs to feel empowered that they are part of the Gurdwara. The whole system is all messed up. You know here, we're here at Park Avenue Gurdwara. Just look that way. What's there? Suicide Centre of Southall. The train station. How far is it from this Gurdwara? Here is Dukh Panjan Tera Naam Ji, Dukh Panjan Tera Naam. Here is the Gurudwara, the place of peace. Dukh par har sukh kar le jaye. Here we are, right now, in the home of Guru Nanak, who took the dukh away from people, gave them peace. Sukhdata. And there, the most amount of people in Southall killed themselves on that train station around the corner from here. And are none of them Sikh? Of course there are. Loads of them are. But we don't want to talk about the suicides in our community. We have no support network. Very little for what's happening in our community. We don't take community support seriously actually. If we did take it seriously, we'd have a full-time counsellor here. Because you know, moving country is a serious business. I went through it myself. I moved from India to here. Ain't easy. Everything is different. Every single thing is different. In classrooms, I'd stand up when the teacher talked to me. Even that people laughed. Every single thing is different. And we got no support. No support, for not easing the transition in. And this is the Guru's house. If we can't get peace here, where are we going to get it? Outside? In the Christian churches? Yeah, they'll give you a lot of support. Of course, they invite you to convert as well. So they are converting, innit? In America, when they move out there, they got no support, so they convert. Canada is happening. Here is happening. They come and knock on our doors. Now they're Christians. And they're trying to convert Sikhs into Christianity as well. In Punjabi. Got leaflets being put through our mother's door in Punjabi saying, come and learn about Satguru Isa. Is it not happening in every single person's house here? These leaflets, these people knocking on the doors. But when are we going to take it seriously for our panth? Kuch kariye aapa. Kuch kariye. Bahut ho gaya. We're not taking the future of our panth very seriously, that's what I think. And especially with the youth. I'll tell you a story. You know, in Chamkaur di Gadi, the elder Sahibzade, Baba Ajit Singh, he didn't ask for permission. He didn't ask for permission to go into the battle. Younger Sahibzade, Baba Jujar Singh, did ask for permission. Because he was over 16 years old. At 16, you were treated as an adult in our community. Nowadays, we keep these kids who are supposedly adults now. We keep them as kids for too long. They stop thinking like adults. They stop becoming solutionaries. An adult takes zimmevari, responsibility. When they see a problem, they look to solve it. Most of our kids, when they're 16, they don't solve any problems for anybody. So when they get to 18, they're just thinking about themselves. They go to university, again, they're not part of any community problem. They're just self-focused. Because we don't empower them to do anything. They're 24, they're working, they're still not thinking about the community, they're still bacche. Mentally, they're still bacche. And we're doing that to our kids. We're not empowering them to become our future. And what's happening is that the committees are getting older and older and older. Because they don't want to leave power either. But the youth aren't ready to step up either, because they're not being told that you can start making decisions when you're 16 years old. We're not getting men in our panth. Mardpuna nahi reha sade vich. There's no mard left. Very rare mardpuna. What you can't translate that word easily in English. It's called being a man. Solving the problem of our panth. Even mardpuna can be in women as well. You see a problem, you solve it. Is being responsible, zimmevari rakhni. What we're having in our panth is, well, it's not worth talking about. You know, 30 years ago, most of the people that are in charge in our community, they only got interested 30 years ago. When it's 30 years ago, now they're 60, they were 30 years old as well. And they felt it was perfectly right when they were 25, 26 to start getting involved in Gurdwara politics. Nowadays, it's very rare to find somebody who's that young involved in Gurdwara politics. Yeah? Because when they came here, they left home when they were 18. They got married when they were 20. They had kids by the time they were 24. They were holding down jobs, businesses. You all know, innit? Everybody here knows when your parents came here. They weren't in their 30s when they started taking responsibility. They were much younger. So what's happening to our generation is we're being emasculated. Yeah? We haven't got the cojones to stand up and do something for ourselves. Same thing. We're not scared about our guru being disappointed in us. Maharaj says in Bani, Saram taram ka dera dur, Nanak kood rahya parpur. Where there is no saram, and there's no dharam, then we are going to be in kura. Complete darkness, complete falsehood. Now we have no sharam what our Guru thinks about us. When we come here, Matha Tek, just think, Baba Nanak is sitting there, and he's wondering, what is going on here, Gursikho? Kar ki rahe ho? What is going on? Do something about the panth that you signed up for. Do something about the panth. Guru Gobind Singh Ji asked, Maharaj, tusi ki chande hai gyo? What will make you happy? Guru Maharaj says, Panth vase, main ujda. Mera panth vase, let me be destroyed. Panth vase, main ujda, man chao kanera. My mind will be happy, very, very happy. If the panth survives and Guru Sahib says, ujjad gaye sige, the whole kul is destroyed. Tahi asi kehne na, our Guru, Sarbans Dani. Not one thing survived of theirs. They cared about this panth that much. Ki panth vase main ujda. Now we're just thinking about our houses, our mortgages, our jobs. We don't give a jot what's happening in our panth. Because if we cared, we'd be up there to do something. We're self-absorbed all the time because we don't realize. And it takes things like this to give us a slap to realize what's happening to us. We forget we're at war. We are at war and we're already losing the war. It's not a thing that we might be at war tomorrow, guys. Be prepared. We're already at war. We're already losing the war. And sadi besti ho rahi hai internationally. On TV, on BBC News. That we can't look after our own people. And this is the panth that used to have look after itself and others. This panth never used to be like this. This panth was giving all the time. And this panth was a kind of people that when we walked onto a train, the people would breathe a sigh of relief. Ki Singh aa gaya. Asi bach gaye. We haven't got that name in this country. We may never have it if we carry on the way we're going now. We'll be the people begging for justice. We'll be the people begging the police to do something. We need the panth to be so strong that no one can even point the finger at the panth. That's how strong the panth should be. Let alone throw stones. Let alone take our girls. Let alone that the girls come back to us and they don't even get shelter. Ni asra ke asr. Those that have no shelter, this panth is their shelter. This Guru is their shelter. Why are we not giving shelter to our own girls, let alone the girls of other communities? Just be aware of that when next time you point fingers at somebody, next time you talk about somebody else. This is the culture that we've created. We have created this culture of pointing, of judging. We are this culture where our women folk don't feel safe. Our women folk don't feel comfortable telling about their problems and their own mistakes. That they'll get judged by their own family. They'd rather go through being raped, they'd rather go through being prostituted than tell us what's going wrong. Because they don't think we're going to come and help them. They don't think the Khalsa will come and help them. They don't believe in us anymore. And I don't know if our Guru believes us anymore either. I don't believe my Guru believes us anymore. Guru Gobind Singh Ji said, Maharaj, what do you think? Maharaj said, Jab lag Khalsa rahe nahi aara, tab lag tez diyu mein sara. When the Khalsa stays nirala, when the Nihang Singhs are happy to go around on the right and not the left, when they stay unique, when the Khalsa is here, ready arm, tiyar bar tiyar shastar tari, then Maharaj says, I'll give you all my support. But they gave a warning as well. Jabe gaye pipran ki reet. When they go the way of the people out there, begging for help, when they go the way of the people, judging each other, trying to compete on financial terms, main na kanu inki prateet. Maharaj says, I won't even have faith in them. Not only our women don't trust us, our Guru doesn't even trust us now. Who is he going to trust? Do we have the face to even look in the mirror and say, Maharaj, main ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਪੁੱਤਰ ਹਾਂ, main ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਾਂ? I walk around like, I don't know what to say. ਬਹੁਤ ਸ਼ਰਮ ਆਂਦੀ ਹੈ. ਸ਼ਰਮ ਧਰਮ ਕਾ ਡੇਰਾ ਦੂਰ. That's what's happening in our community. It's complete ਕੂੜਾ. Complete ਕੂੜ ਰਹਿਆ ਭਰਪੂਰ. ਸਾਰੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਕੂੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ. The disease is everywhere. And we need a full reboot. A complete reboot. Culturally, socially, educationally. And while we sit in our normal little shells, unconcerned, our Guru is watching us. Our Guru is watching us. कि मत्था तो टेकदे हैगे हो, पर कुछ करदे हैगे हो? सलाम जवाब दोवे करें, मुंदो खुत्ता जाए. सलाम तो करदे हैगे हो, जवाब ही दे देंदे हैगे हो. नहीं साडे कोल टाइम नहीं महाराज, ਅਸੀਂ बड़े बिजी हैगे हैं. I don't know. We walk around like complete. I don't know. So I was going to finish off with one thing. You know, when you go and do slogans next time, Raj karega Khalsa, just think, what does Khalsa mean, firstly? And Khalsa kive Raj karega? There's no point saying it if you're not prepared to actually do it. Maharaj doesn't want people here, Jinaman hor, mukhor, se kande, kache. Those who have one thing in their mouth and something else in their mind, wo kache ne. Be realistic. Look at our community here and let's do something for ourselves here. What's happening in India will get solved when the people there realize what the Sikhs here are doing is so amazing. Let's inspire them by doing something amazing for our Panth. Let this country become Khalistan. Let this country, it's already allowing us to do whatever we want. We can walk around like Mr. Singh now, Bana, something, everything we want. No one says a word. Itthe Raj kariye. Jahan tahan tum dharam bitharo. Here, our Panth is so chardi kala. If it does, this philosophy we have is so chardi kala. If we just do what our Guru says, and not just doss about, taking it half-hearted. We got to start with our own family. What's happening in our family? Not just our family in our own houses, but this family here. We got to start looking at each other as brothers and sisters. Yeah? When we look out for each other. We got to start looking after our family, that's it. Pra hai gya sare. Gursikhan eko preet hai. Yeah? Because we are brothers and sisters here. Yeah? We've got to speak the truth here. We've got to learn our Shabad. We've got to learn what Guru is about. And why do Sikhs want to follow their Guru? What that's going to take is people to just commit more than what we're doing now. And change the way we do things now. Bahut ho gaya. We know what the problems are. There's loads of solutions. We talked about the solutions many times in here. The first thing, solution-wise, is the immediate battle to fight. Is to support those organizations that are doing something. Yeah? Those that are doing something, support them first. SAS should not be out there asking for money. They should be flooded with donations. Flooded. When a crisis happens in Sudan, the government gets funded. The government set up an emergency relief fund, it gets flooded with money. We got a crisis in our Panth right now. Its short-term solution is what SAS and them lot are doing. Long-term solution is Prachar. Long-term solution is community building. Prachar. Sikh helpline. Those things. Yeah? They shouldn't be out there begging. They should be being flooded and they should be trying to figure out what to do with all the money. Because it's our family. You just think what you would do if something happened to your family. How much people go through for their family. And do that much for the Panth. Panth vasai, main ujla. Tan Guru Gobind Singh says, Mana chao kanera. I'll be so happy. Je Panth vas jave. Asi ud jade ki hoya. Panth vas jave. I'm sure sorry we didn't do the Kirtan. We're going to go through a bit of Simran. I just finish off by going back to our Guru ki Mara tusi kirpa karo, that we start to walk upon your path. Yeah? If we take one step towards our Guru, it's not gone. It's not gone. All is not lost. It's not lost if we go back to our Guru. It's all about going back to our Guru. Thank you.
ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਪਰਸੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਕੈ दर्शन परसे गुरु के जन्म मरण दुख जाए। दर्शन परसे गुरु के जन्म मरण दुख जाए। दर्शन परसे गुरु के जन्म मरण दुख जाए। जन्म मरण दुख वाहिगुरु 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 Guru Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru,
Sangatji, we should always finish off with our Guru. So, kaho, Atal Guru Seviye, Ahnas Sahaj Subhai, Darshan Parsiye Guru ke, Janama Maran Dukh Jai. The Sikh comes to the Guru so that their pain of life and death can be destroyed. That's why a Sikh comes to Gurdwara. If the Sikhs in our community can't come to us because of the pain of their life, because of the pains that they're going through in their lives, then where are we? Where are we as a community? Now you know in Southall, here we are as a community, we got to look after Southall first. If there's girls here in Southall, if there's boys here in Southall that are in trouble, they need questions, they need help, then we need to be able to support those people here. We need people here to be looking after this community. This system is totally messed up. It needs to change. We need to start thinking about what we can do about it. And support those people that are doing stuff. Don't just talk about it, do it. It's not going to happen otherwise. I was going to finish off by saying just one thing. This program is going to start again next week with the Katha of Gurbani. So then bring people here, innit? I've seen people here and I'm very happy, some people here doing great seva. You think it's not seva, it's great seva. They bring their mates along. They say, look, come for one session. If you don't like it, don't come, but come for one session. All of us should be trying to do that. Bring some people along from your family, your friends. Tell them, if you don't like it, you don't have to come again. But ikkai to aake dekh lavo. Southall Gurdwara here, in the whole of the south from Birmingham, it's the only place where there's English Katha going on in English. So it should be packed. I'm happy to say today is very packed, but Sangatji, let's pack it out even more, full of youth. There's loads of youth in Southall. They need to understand what Guru Sahib said. They don't have to listen to me, listen to what Guru Sahib said. So Tawprasasriya Katha will start next week. Maharaj Kirpa Kare. We'll understand the meaning of ki, what is real in this world. Because Sach kaho, sun le ho sabe. Jine prem kiyo, tin hi prapayo. A pyar di khede with our Guru. Pyar with our Guru. So we're only going to find that by learning Bani. Because Bani Guru, Guru hai Bani. Which Bani? Amrit Sari. Gurbani kya hai? Sevak Janamane Partak Guru Nistari. Guru himself will come Partak to save those people that listen to Bani. Because Bani is Guru. Partak means visible. Appe auga. So, I'm sure I made loads of mistakes in that. I might have offended a lot of you, probably have. My apologies. I just spoke from the heart, the things that I was thinking about. And obviously we have to as a community come together. So please forgive my mistakes. Deho sajane सीसड़ियाँ जो होवे साहिब से मेल पुला चुका दिखे बख्शी जी गुरु दी फतेह दा जवाब गज गज के आखना जी वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।
सुख हो टल गुरु सेविया अहनस सहज सुख दुख जाई सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरु साहिब जी बिलावल महला पंजवा अपने बालक आप रखेन पार ब्रह्म गुरुदेव सुख शांत सहज आनंद पाए पूरन भई सेव अपने बालक आप रखेन पार ब्रह्म गुरुदेव सुख शांत सहज आनंद पाए पूरन भई सेव रहाओ भगत जना की बेनती सुनी प्रभ आप रोग मिटाए जीवालेन जाका वड प्रताप दुख हमारे बख्शेन अपनी कलतारी मन बाशत फल दिते नानक बलिहारी दुख हमारे बख्शेन अपनी कलतारी मन बाशत फल दिते नानक बलिहारी वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।